Hello there, and I am very excited to show off something. Guys, I've been sitting on this for about a week now, waiting for the chance to make the big reveal. I couldn't even share it, on like Instagram or Twitter or our team social media. I wanted to wait and show it live on the show. I have finally put up, as you can see over here in the corner, if I can get the pointing right, I've got some bookshelves. Some over here too. Yeah. The new episode of the Yavin base builds coming out tomorrow on the Patreon for our $10 and up patrons, showing the chronicling of me building these shelves in terms of, I had to paint every last surface of these things and put them together. And it was a bunch of coats of paint, a bunch. Anyway, I finally put my books on the shelves. And as I did so, I took my the big, huge Legends Comics Omnibuy out of their plastic wraps, Freddie. I know. What? For months, I've been talking about how I've not taken these out of their wraps. And now that I've done it, I have discovered something huge. I've got the Rise of the Sith Omnibus, brand new, just got here very recently. In
Beautiful
fact,
cover.
My wife was like, oh, did they send you 2 copies? I was like, no, the other one, the Darth Vader one that took forever to get here, got sent to the wrong address. And then I was like, no, this is a different one. She was thrilled. Anyway, I also have, if I can even strong enough to lift this thing, the Knights of the Old Republic Omnibus is now also out of its case. And would y'all check this out? First of all, New York Times best smeller.
Yay.
Okay,
right there.
does pass the test.
Moist.
Also, ready for this?
Ready.
You take the dust jacket off.
No.
There's art printed
Different art?
on.
Look at that.
Oh.
All right,
Look at-
that's gorgeous.
What is that? What are those things
I don't
called?
even know what that-
Get the
Rancor?
Rathtar.
Rankers.
No. What are they called? The ones that get the cell
Very unlegends of you.
from KOTOR, Freddie. The ones that get the rat ghoul. There it is.
Rat
Ah.
ghouls. Rat ghouls.
Nice.
Look at the way it wraps, and it's like the matte finish.
It's beautiful.
That's
Feels nice and smooth.
gorgeous.
It's got Knights of the Old Republic art. I could not. Y'all should have heard the sound that came out of my mouth when
Can you
I got the
replicate
dust
it?
Yeah,
jacket.
I want to hear it right now.
Well, it was a lot like the
inaudible.
sound that came out of your mouth,
Yeah.
out of your guttural region, Emily. When the full Home Alone experience when this.
Hold on. Do
Home
that
Alone.
one more time, Jared. There's our time.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
And all right, so now my hands are all greasy from my face. Anyway, the
Oh,
Darth
no.
Maul also has it.
Ooh,
Oh,
check
that
that
one's
out.
really
Thing.
pretty.
Darth Maul.
Man.
There's no I already
Gosh, that's
forgot what they're
beautiful.
called. Reptars, Rathars. Hold on,
Reptars.
that's what I call
Do,
them.
do,
Rat
do,
ghouls.
do, do,
Starts with an R. What do I call that thing?
do,
Rat
do,
ghouls?
Nope.
do, do.
Yeah, no rat ghoul on this one, unfortunately.
Going
Or
Red Rex.
Reptars, or Rathars. None of them. It does have Darth Maul.
Nice.
You know what else doesn't have any? You know what else doesn't have any Rathars, Reptars, or
Rat
Rancors? This episode of Legends Look Back. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends Look Back, probably part of the Utini Podcast Network. This is a Star Wars books podcast that you can listen to in between Olsen Twins mysteries, where we celebrate our rich EU history as well as dive into lesser-known Star Wars classics. I'm your host, Jared Mays, and I am joined once again for the second time tonight, Freddie C.
Yeah. Hey guys. Gosh, I forgot we just did another episode. It's a secret little episode that we did for you guys, based on something we're going to talk about today, and it's quite interesting because I would recommend, if you are a audio listener, if you haven't yet watched our YouTube streams, it's probably a really good one to watch on the YouTube stream. We're going to go over a lot of art, and it's something that you can listen to, but the visuals are stunning, and honestly, I think we had a couple hot takes on this probably being some of the best art in Legends for
Absolutely.
Crimson Empire. So exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, we recorded next week's episode 1 week in advance. So welcome to the time travel dimension that we've got going on here in Legends Look Back. And by that, I mean, we've already done an episode tonight, so we're tired. So if we say things like
Speak for
calling
yourself.
rat ghouls reptars, well, that's why. All right. That's why. Also, you heard her over there. She's still here. We have not yet lost her to motherhood. Emily Daybeck, how are you?
Well, I'm still pregnant, Jared.
Tell me
Yeah.
what you were telling what you were telling the team before we went live. It was priceless.
Well, usually when I log in to like join the chat live on YouTube, I'll see, random videos that I've been watching lately. And my current history is all labor induction tips, how to start labor at home, and meditations to induce labor at home, like this,
Yeah.
that, and the other, birth stories. I am quite ready to be done. And it's at that point in the pregnancy where everybody else is ready for me to be done too.
Right.
And so they just keep asking me about the baby, and it's not very helpful because baby is still quite safe and stationary. It's
Still
not
cooking.
going anywhere.
Tell you what'll induce labor. The Xanabar. Am I right?
Oh my gosh. Don't even. Wait.
If you don't yet know what I'm talking about, they are some of the ancillary
Ugh.
characters from Crimson Empire 2. So the second volume of Crimson Empire. How would you describe them, the Xanabar guys? The
Horrifying.
blue, bald, skinny aliens
Yes.
with
Creepy
Arkansas
eyes.
teeth. No, excuse me, Tennessee
All right.
teeth.
Whoa.
And
We'll say West Virginia.
okay. Yeah, their eyes can roll way up into their heads.
Yeah.
I can't even try to
They're-
like replicate it. I can't.
And then they're looking for victims for a sacrifice.
yeah,
Yeah.
Always. They
Must
always
be
want more victims.
alive.
And the leader's name is Zidimsawer. Yeah, right. It's just like a bunch of consonants, isn't it? How do you guys say his name?
Careful.
I don't
Xanaxable.
even know.
Zerdival, Zerberzer.
Yeah, I think I call him Xanaxable in my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're
All right,
creepy,
Harry-
that's for sure.
Who else we got here that I haven't introduced yet? Rick.
Me,
Hello,
pick
Rick.
me.
Welcome.
Hello.
Your turn.
Hey, you were recording, right, Jared, for the last episode?
I'm
just kidding.
I hope so.
Yeah, I tried. Skooma Joe asked what my hat says. It's Alliance Forces Rebel since Scarif, I think. That's what it says.
Ooh,
So yeah.
very cool.
Rick's got the best Star Wars dad hats in the galaxy.
I know he's wearing a different one in the next episode. Can't wait for
I
y'all to
know.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh, you did a wardrobe change? I missed
You did
it.
a wardrobe change.
Just my hat. I love this shirt so much. I'm gonna wear it again next week. I will.
His jokes are fresh. His attire is fresh.
Armpits
They're
not
ready
so
Or,
to
much.
go.
or may not be as fresh if he's wearing it
Yes.
for a week straight.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't say
That's
wear.
fair.
I just said to wear it again in a week. Surely I'll do the laundry by then. Surely.
No, I'm realizing with the wardrobe that we've really, blown this opportunity. It is St. Patrick's Day. Is it today?
Yes.
Tomorrow?
Hey, man.
Today.
I got some green in here.
Yeah.
Today's St.
This is
Patrick's
kind
Day.
of green.
Green hat.
We're all
Synergy.
wearing different shades of green. I wouldn't
And,
have a
uh,
clue. I'm colorblind. But the fact of the matter is, we're talking about Crimson Empire.
Mm.
Mm.
Wait, Freddie, is that a Star Wars shirt?
It is. There's
What?
If you see that, there's a R2D2
Oh, nice.
hanging out there, and I'm pretty sure right here on my biceps, that's the Millennium
It's the Millennium Falcon. Yeah.
Yep, you see that?
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Wow, good eye. I did not catch that at all.
Freddie,
Yeah.
I've learned after 3 years of podcasting with Freddie, if he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, 9 times out of 10, it's a Star Wars Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
I would love a TikTok tour of your closet, Freddie. That would just be a
Oh, yeah.
highlight.
Yeah, it's there's a lot
Maybe
of
that
Star
could be a
Wars.
Patreon goal.
There was anytime there's like a Star Wars Hawaiian shirt that drops, no matter where it's at, I've got my mitts on it.
Nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm
Where
just realizing. Go ahead.
where do like what stores carry those?
Oh, that's a good question.
So some of the first stores that dropped them were PacSun back in the day,
Yep. Okay.
and those are really cool. They've got ads on them and a bunch of cool vehicles. Kohl's had also like a nice solid drop of Hawaiian Star Wars shirts with like Chewbacca and a couple other characters. Yeah, you just gotta type in Star Wars Hawaiian shirts. I'm pretty sure you'll find some good.
So I think I'm past my prime for Hawaiian shirts though, because I would
Never too
totally,
late.
dude. I would be the tourist dad, because it's like I can see like the cargo shorts and the short or the socks with flip flops that complete the look.
Oh yeah.
So
For
like,
sure.
Birkenstocks.
yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think I could pull it off anymore. So I think my time for Hawaiian Star Wars shirts is past.
Hey, no,
Or
there's
it's
no such
ahead
thing.
of you because they come
Yeah.
back around.
That's true.
Yeah, when-
that is true.
When you retire,
And you tuck them in,
anything goes.
and then your fanny pack. Okay, that actually could be
and
fun.
you get those really cool zip off pants where it's like they're pants and shorts.
I still
so,
have
like, they
those.
could
Best.
be.
Yeah,
I have those.
I have those too.
So, okay,
So
good.
I had some of those in college. Don't ask me why.
They're good
That
for
was an
fishing.
interesting
You go on a
choice.
fishing trip early
Yep.
in the morning.
Yeah.
You got to keep those calves warm. Then
Alright.
midday, sun comes out. You got to let those
Yeah.
suckers breathe.
So that your knees can
Yep.
burn.
That's right.
I wore them to Six Flags, and all my teenagers that I was with were making fun of me. This was for I'm a youth minister. It's my job, so it's weird when I just talk about teenagers randomly. But that's why I was with teenagers.
And I take the teens.
I
out.
embarrassed them by zipping off the bottom leg of my shorts. They're like, "Are you kidding me right now?" I'm like, "No, it's
Uh-oh,
hot."
it's getting serious.
Yeah.
If you
I love
can't
that.
poke fun at your youth minister, are you even a youth minister?
That's
I mean,
right.
Rumor-
That's right.
Rumor has it that under Boba Fett's orange knee guard, if you take that off, there you can unzip his pants.
Okay. Okay.
You just made Emily straight make the pog face. I mean, that's how good that was. Now, here's the blown opportunity, guys. We're talking about Crimson Empire. Our episode is named after a color, and it is St. Patrick's Day. We're all wearing green on Crimson Empire Day. Okay, Rick just changed his background color. I could do that too.
Ta-da!
Yeah, you probably couldn't tell. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, we are talking about one of the very best Legends stories there ever was, Crimson Empire. And it is a comic from the 90s. We're going to give more details on that in just a minute. First, we've got a little bit of Legends news we've got to get to before we move along. And that is some big, fun Legends news. Might we call it... Maybe you'll want to say hello there to these books. Am I right? All right. Show us what we got, Rick. The covers were just revealed for Tales of Kenobi,
Ooh.
So
the Barnes
cool.
and Noble hardcover edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And this is
And
gonna have both Kenobi by John Jackson Miller and what was it? Approaching Storm.
that's just a rumor. We actually
Yeah.
don't have officially released yet from Barnes and Noble what is in this edition.
Hmm.
John Jackson Miller himself on Twitter is bugging Barnes and Noble to say, "Hey guys, would love it if you'd let me know what is in this."
Yeah.
Obviously, my book Kenobi, but what else?
Yep.
And so that we're thinking Approaching Storm. That's just a rumor. Somebody, I'm not sure who, maybe it was Trevor. Somebody said that they think it could also have like some Legends Kenobi short stories. A short story Incognito by John Jackson Miller. It's also a tie-in to Kenobi could be in here. That would be very cool, wouldn't it?
Indeed.
Oh yeah, that'd be so cool.
And Freddie, tell us about the other book that is coming out on September 14th from Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, so we've got this next one here, which is
What?
I'm looking for it. It's somewhere in these notes. Okay, yeah, we've got Bounty Hunter Wars, which really interesting, beautiful cover. Are these going to be
Mhm.
leather bound at all, or
It's
Yeah, I
know
think
how they're
so.
okay? Yes, this is a beautiful cover. Look at that. I
That's
love the
gorgeous.
covers for both of them. They're simple, yet they have enough contrast to really convey what you're looking at. This is a beautiful image of Boba Fett.
I want to see
Exciting.
the back covers of these because, as we all know, that Han Solo leather-bound edition has got Jabba smoking a hookah on the back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is gonna
And
be
Boba Fett. He's on the back cover of that one, too.
this one's going straight on my shelf.
Yeah. There's the.
Oh, yeah,
that's
Rick's showing it
that's
off.
Great.
That's
I just
beautiful.
put that on my shelf the other day. I finished reading it. I was just reading Rebel Dawn out of that, which
Yeah.
if you've
Nice.
never actually sat down and read out of these, you are missing out.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are
It's a good reading experience.
pristine because they'll lay open really well.
Yeah.
And then
Ooh.
they have built-in bookmarks, guys.
Yes.
Ribbons like the Bible.
I know.
Biblical.
That's
Except
why
for,
I'm
as you
saying-
informed me, there are no pictures in the Bible.
Kinda like this,
there's
right?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, get ready with this Bible. Very good.
Love it. Love it.
Now,
There's actually so there's this truck parked on the corner that I swear looks like Boba Fett. And I like took a picture. I forgot to send it to you guys, but it's like it's red underneath, and then it has like a matte coat of paint over it, and it just looks like Boba Fett as a
That's so
pickup
awesome.
truck.
Well,
I'm
that
gonna have to
reminds
send it
me.
out in Discord.
What is it? The Tundra or the Tacoma? The white Tacoma looks like a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen that.
Oh wow.
awesome.
Emily, the Discord is going to need to see that. So
I know. I need to drop it. I'll drop it.
absolutely. Well, very excited to show those off whenever we actually have them in hand in September.
Yep.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, these don't get delayed any further, and we'll be out
September 14th.
in September. Absolutely. Before we know it. Now, one other thing, as I mentioned at the top of the show, a new episode of Yavin Base Builds is coming out tomorrow, where I am painting and assembling all of my Star Wars bookcases, and would love for you guys to chime in after watching it. How in the world should I organize my reference books? Because what do you do chronologically? You can't. They're reference books.
All right.
You do color or size. Size matters not. You're not supposed to do that. So
I've been thinking about that too, because I'm in a similar process, not going to the same lengths, unfortunately. But I decided that
you don't know how much money I've spent. It's fortunately, I'll say that much.
Unfortunate for me, because I want one that cool. But I was thinking the same thing. And I decided that I'm gonna have a shelf for in-universe books. Are we doing a Legends look at or Track and store this week?
No, but if you got something, show it off.
Yeah. So this is your fault, Jared. I have had on my shelf the Book of the Sith, the Jedi Path, the Imperial Handbook, and the Bounty Hunter's Guide. Those are 4 of the in-universe, handbook kind of books. And last week or the week before, you showed off the Rebel Files, and I was like, why don't I have those? I really like the other ones, and so I didn't know that they existed, and so I went out and had to get the Rebel Files and the Smuggler's Guide. Now I'm hoping there's just 6 of them, and I have them now, but I decided that I'm going to do a whole in-universe shelf with all of the in-universe Star Wars books so that I can feel, whenever I really just want to dive deep and just let my imagination go wild, like the Myths and Fables books and whatever they have, both canon and legend. There's a whole bunch out there the more you think about it, like reference
Rick,
books especially. Oh, man.
You ready for me to burst your bubble?
What you got?
There are more.
Oh, that's exciting though, because they're great. How many more?
They're oversized. They have a couple that are like jumbo. I'll see if I can grab one without knocking over everything that I've got on my computer. And they've got a Stormtroopers one, another one called Scum and Villainy. And these are double the size, double the fun.
I'm excited.
Alrighty, here we go. Stormtrooper is this big.
I have that one.
Okay.
Is that one in the universe?
Maybe it doesn't count. It's kind of beyond the. It's got some behind the scenes on how they. I don't guess it's in universe, is it?
Okay. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how they frame it. I've only peeked inside.
No, not really. Okay.
Hey Rick, do you have those Haynes Star Wars Millennium Falcon books? It's like the
owner's guide.
Yeah.
I think I have one of them. I know I have the Death Star one, but I don't have that one. That's a good one. If I do, it's like the new one with the escape pod included.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I love those books because Haynes, if I'm not mistaken, Haynes actually publishes actual owner manuals for cars. Like if you've got a BMW, you can buy it and it'll tell you how to fix everything. So these books are actually made as if this thing is real, and
really?
You can actually it's written by the same people, so they take good effort in pretending like this is an actual real thing, and if you need to fix a radiator leak, like it'll tell you how to do that.
Yeah,
that's really
they're
cool.
impressive for sure. Man,
nice.
Books, love books.
Yeah, there's some good ones. One of them, another good one, is Crimson Empire.
Yes.
And we are going to be talking all about it tonight. I'm proud to be showing off my 30th anniversary hardcover that I got on a tremendous bargain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I have to admit, I mostly read it digitally, though. It's just,
That's such a beautiful cover.
It's really cool. The Kindle edition, though, does have like those bonus stories, kind of the in-between, what happened in between the trilogies. So those are really good. This one only has the first 6 issues, the original run of Crimson Empire. Whew, we're going to talk about all of it. There's a lot to cover. So without further ado, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Blood, Guts, and Gore, a Star Wars story, aka Crimson Empire.
That's the wrong button. Here we go.
You got this.
It's the best back cover since the Star Wars Episode 1 hardcover novelization. The one with young Anakin, because on the back, just to remind y'all, is a full headshot of Watto.
It's so big. It's
I think
so
I brought
large.
this up on one of the earliest episodes of the Living
my
Force
God, yeah.
ever, and I thought I'd bring it back.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Series and all of Legends. What do you guys think? Could it be the X-Wing series? Might just be the
It
most
was pretty
romance
steamy.
intensive series ever. And we're not just talking about the scene where Corran Horn describes his love affair with an otter. I mean, a Salonian that he hooked up with her and then he broke out in chives.
Yeah, not chives.
In
Not
chives.
chives.
What's it called? The bumps?
Hives, dude. Hives.
Chives
so
go on your
close.
potato.
I'm hearing
Chives.
you say the same thing.
Chives,
What
what
is-
you put on the under potato. No C. Hives.
Hives.
Not chives.
What'd I say?
Chives.
It's not a very common story to approach. Yeah, again, drawing the complex family tree of Django to clone identical son to clone all identical millions of sons, but they're a generation older. So then the son is kind of all Django's equal, but then Boba is a generation younger, but then that clone's son is Boba's age, but then is Boba his dad or his nephew or his uncle or his cousin? It's like
We have got some fantastic Legends comics to talk about tonight. In fact, I read these just because I never had, and these action figures came out. The Kier Kanos Carnor Jax action figure, this is kind of a misprint. We've talked about it till we're blue in the teeth. This came out last year, and I was like, well, I've never read these. I should probably give them a shot since they, were action figure worthy, and just was in love with them. Now, don't get me wrong. They are just chock full of toxic masculinity in the 80s, 90s action hero kind of way. We're going to talk about it. We're not going to make excuses for it. It's part of it. That being said, I loved it. I really did. And, it could have been worse. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, I finally was like, guys, we've got to talk about these. Sooner or later, we're going to have to get to them. And here's our reason why. Are you ready?
Yes.
In canon, they have new Crimson stories. You guys know about these?
No.
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 Yeah, there's Crimson Reign.
Oh, yes.
It's like a new ongoing comics arc. Crimson, I don't know, other things. Crimson, there's more. Surely somebody from the
It's a
the
dramatic color,
the comics people are going to be yelling at me in the chat, so just give them 10 seconds for it to catch up. Crimson War, that could be one.
Crimson Empire, Crimson Reign, Crimson
Empire is the Legends comic.
Crimson
There's
bad
some-
guy, Crimson good guy.
There's new ones in canon. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Legends Crimson story that did it first. I'm not necessarily saying they did it better, but we did it first at the very least.
Crimson Dawn, of course.
That's not the
yes.
story. That's like the
that's
that's-
crime
like
syndicate. Crime syndicate.
The other comment there, Crimson
right.
Things.
They factor in. They factor in.
Yes.
It was in War of the Bounty Hunters first and foremost, and now the new ongoing series is called Crimson Reign, and then there's another one that's been announced. I don't remember what it is.
Is it Crimson Snow? Different kind of rain, I know.
Don't trust the Crimson Snow.
Oh my goodness.
Don't touch it.
Okay.
Freddie, tell us about what this book is, when it came out, who wrote it.
Yeah. So the publication date, it ranges. So there's several. If you're looking at, it's not really an omnibus. Maybe it is an omnibus. I guess it remains to be argued there. But we've got Crimson Empire, which was published in 97 through 99, when you had a couple of standalone comics within that, and you also had Crimson Empire 2, Crimson Empire 3. And the last one, I believe, Crimson Empire 3, was published in 2011, about almost 10 years later. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a long time.
A long span for to carry the whole comic, and it, in my opinion, it reads really well all the way from beginning to end. You wouldn't realize that there's such a gap between the time.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this is my first time through it, and so I didn't know about that. I just read it and enjoyed it with very little background knowledge other than, the action figure controversy. And that was about it. And so, yeah, I totally found it very enjoyable for that reason because it's a great story.
Yeah, and imagine to be able to keep a story running after it's been in a hiatus for that long. You'd have to get back into the mindset of what it was like in the 90s to write it. What were they thinking, and copy it right in the 2000s. And the authors there were Mike Richardson and Randy Stradley, and of course the artists. We've got cover art by the infamous Dave Dorman, and the inside art we've got by Paul Gulacy. I think that remains to be contested still.
Yeah. Now, the development of this really is staggering. Did you guys, in researching for this week, pick up any of how this came to be? It's amazing.
No. How did it come to be?
What's the background?
So Mike Richardson, I believe it was Mike Richardson, had this idea. He was working. See if I can pull it up. He was working in developing some stories for Dark Horse in the early 90s, right about the time that Dark Empire came out, and this does tie into it. And this was a pitch, like a story idea that he had as a seedling of an idea for years and years before it could finally come to fruition and see the light of day. And his original concept here, this is something he just like kept pitching to people, and he kept pitching it and he kept pitching it until it finally was approved and became a thing. Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Man.
The idea for it actually had to be refined a little bit. The idea was that this would be about the 4 royal guards, the 4 that are in Return of the Jedi, Palpatine's 4 royal guards, and that you follow each of their stories after Return of the Jedi. This doesn't do that, right? This specifically follows the story of 2 royal guards, Carnor Jax and Kir Kanos, as they are, kind of Legends frenemies, but it's after Dark Empire, so it ties into Dark Empire, which I love Dark Empire, and so the fact that this ties into it is really nice.
The way they tied it in too is so flawless. It just works so well.
Yeah. So tell the good folks how it ties in, Freddie. Well, I looked for this detail of what year it was that he pitched this.
Yeah, so let's see. Carnor Jax. I guess the summary is Carnor Jax is. Well, I'm not going to do the whole summary. I'll just talk about the basic entrance. Premise. Yeah, the basic premise. He basically Carnor Jax wants to take over as the Emperor, right? And he sabotages the clones that we see in Dark Empire, which that's where the tie-in there is, and of course. He's got dirt on some of the council, and Kir Kanos he wants nothing to do with it. He does not like that plan at all, and will do anything to stop Jax from accomplishing his task.
And as such, one of the reasons that this ties into Dark Empire, if you said it and I zoned out, hey, this is our second episode of the night, so I apologize, is that there was, Carnor Jax basically was orchestrating an overthrow of the Emperor behind the scenes and wanted to take the Empire for himself. So he pays off one of Palpatine's physicians, one of his cloning scientists, to sabotage Palpatine's final clone, which is why that body deteriorates in Dark Empire, thus leading us back to last week's topic of Palpatine, old crusty Palpatine, decaying Palpatine, formerly naked Palpatine, no longer naked, who's trying to take the body of Princess Leia's unborn child, a recently born child.
Do you think we can credit Jax with taking all the clothes away for the clone?
Well, no, I don't think so. But nice try.
Hey, while we're on that, naked Palpatine, Do you think that could be like a Patreon perk of like a tattoo of naked palp?
And
Moving on.
Salacious B.
Tattoo?
Crumb.
The both of them.
I'm more likely to get a Crimson Empire tattoo, like the Imperial logo on fire. That would be a cool tattoo.
Beautiful.
I
That
was-
would be a really cool tattoo.
I was thinking about getting my first tattoo soon, and I've got some ideas, but I was thinking like,
Salacious B.
If
Crumb
the
right in the left
price-
cheek.
I was gonna say the price was right. I could put a naked palp on the back cheek or something. No one would see it. No one would know it's there. But,
Price was right. Wow. And you're like volunteering. Like,
I mean,
this
if
isn't
you-
like, let's make Jared get a tattoo.
What would the price be? Like
I don't know what you offer.
That's a
$5,000?
good question.
$10,000?
What are you offering?
Would it $500?
serious
$10
offers
super
only.
chat.
Serious.
I have.
$10.
I'm not gonna pay you.
I'm convinced.
I'm not going to pay you any money for this. $0.
Well, then we
doesn't
don't
wanna
have a
be,
deal. We don't have a deal.
We don't have to answer to Rick's wife.
Oh my goodness.
No, I
Oh,
would
man.
not want to see her if we paid Rick to get naked Palpatine tattooed on him. Well, you know who else wouldn't like that? Kier Kanos. He's
That's
a
true.
very serious
He's
man.
serious.
Very,
serious.
very
Yes.
serious man. In fact, so serious that he seriously wants to get out of my Star Wars room because I have two copies of him where he is mislabeled as Carnor Jax. So the good news for you, listener, if you would like this, all you have to do tonight in order to enter the contest, we're gonna have a live giveaway. Ready for this? You type the words "legends, legends, legends" into the chat in tonight's show. Got to say it 3 times in one message, or it doesn't count.
It's like
3
Beetlejuice.
legends, 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 legends into the chat tonight. You can be entered to win. We will draw at the end of the episode for Carnor Jax, and by that I mean Kier Kanos, and it could be showing up on your doorstep. Who knows? This could be collectible. Am I right, Freddie? That's why you bought one.
Yeah. That's why, I haven't gotten the correct one yet, because as you saw, it's possible that it's not there yet. And we've talked about it in length, but yeah, it is acknowledged by Hasbro that it was a misprint. And I love the art on the inside too. It's beautiful, right? And that's part of
It
the.
is.
You'll see that in our episode next week. Even this year, we talk about the art. It's a beautiful, a beautiful box. So, for those of you who want this, legends, legends, legends.
Mm.
Well, let's get into it. I did find the correct information here. This was not Mike Richardson, but Randy Stradley, who ended up being, editor-in-chief at Dark Horse Comics for decades, just retired recently. Randy Stradley was working for Marvel Comics in the 80s. This goes all the way back to 1983, and he had this as a script idea for the 4 Royal Guards at the end of Return of the Jedi. Then he pitched it to Dark Horse when it was acquired. This sat as an idea for 14 years. It finally saw the light of day when he pitched it to Ryder Wyndham and Mike Richardson in 97. And it morphed a little bit. It was first an idea in 1983. Isn't that phenomenal?
Wow,
It's pretty cool.
that far back.
Yeah. And you can tell this has got some real original trilogy roots here, doesn't it?
It's pretty.
It really
feels-
does.
Mm-hmm.
Got that feel to it. So let's talk about it. But first and foremost, with the characters, no, let's rate it. What rating would you give this thing on a scale from 1 to 10? Emily's like, oh no, I haven't thought about a rating. We get to catch it live here on the show as she figures it out and thinks it up. For me, it is an 8.5. Absolutely great. Halfway on its way to being incredible. And absolutely seminal Legends comics story. Let's kick it over to Freddie.
Okay, so let me give it put it back into the 90s, right? I'm gonna rate it as if I'm in the 90s, because I feel like where it belongs. If you try to bring it into the current zone, it may not read as well, or maybe the art is a little too buxom. The story's fantastic. The action is like every single page. I'm not even sure if there's a page without action sometimes. Like, just going through it, I was constantly flipping through it. It's an easy read. You're gonna flip right through it. The art is absolutely beautiful, inside art and the cover art. Many times you get inside art and outside art, just not really lining up. But this is beautiful all the way around. The story is fantastic. The way it ties in Rogue Squadron. Let's see, what else am I missing?
As soon as Rogue Squadron came on the page, it just bumped Freddie's rating up a whole score.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's got ships. It's got beautiful action art. We'll talk about that in the episode next week. This is definitely, if I had to pick one of my most favorite comic books now, the Old Republic is still number one in my opinion. Crimson Empire is probably a strong number two.
Okay.
Not considering Boba Fett. I feel like it's kind of me being biased. Boba
Yeah.
Fett is always going to be number one, but
That's
I
S
would give
tier.
this-
These are both A tier.
yeah. See, there you go. This is definitely S tier stuff. You gotta read this if you're a Legends fan. I'm gonna put this definitely at a 9.2.
Okay. High score from Freddie.
Hmm.
Emily.
I'm going to go with 8.4.
Okay. Which is one notch below me, huh?
Yeah. I thought it was really, really good and very action packed. There were a couple pretty cringy moments that I enjoyed. I thought they were kind of fun to kind of break it up. And I'm pretty sure
We'll
they were
get there.
inserted there intentionally. But yeah,
I've
that's why
heard
it wasn't a 9 something.
I've heard that Emily brought images to show off some of the cringe. I can't wait. Rick, what's your score?
So my score is lower, but I loved it. So don't be alarmed. I feel like I give everything a super high score, and I'm still new to a lot of comics, and so especially Legends comics, and so I'm gonna give it an 8. But it's a great story.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a good rating. All right, absolutely. Let's start off with the seminal man himself, Kier Canos. Absolutely. Talking about the man in red himself. And if his blade doesn't pierce your suit of armor, his stare will pierce your soul. Am I right? Kier Canos. First and foremost, how you guys pronounce this? You say Canos? Canos?
I think we all know mine's going to be Canos.
A little bit spicy.
A little bit it's almost sounds Greek, right? The Canos.
Ooh, can I start rolling the R? Kier Canos. Make him a little
Why not, man?
Scottish.
I
It's
actually like that one a
Canos.
lot.
Yeah.
That's a
That
good
gives
one.
it a totally
He's
different.
from the Highlands.
hint.
Kier Canos. Sorry.
Wow,
bad.
it's like
That's not bad.
Braveheart.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Wow,
I like it.
that added. a
You
whole
might
different
take my
dimension.
scythe sword, but you can't take my freedom. Okay.
That's good.
Sorry.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was great.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna have to pick Rick's pronunciation. I am not gonna attempt to say that, but I really liked his dedication.
I have
Yeah,
a
I
feeling
like
that
it.
if
Great.
Kier Canos heard you say that, he would stab you with his double-bladed vibro sword.
Either that or
Probably.
he would pull out like the vibro sword like bagpipe attachment and start getting super patriotic. I'm not
Nah.
sure.
He'd probably just stab you.
Attachment? Doesn't seem like he's a very musical character.
Bagpipe attachment. Oh my goodness. Now,
That's the most legendy thing ever. Come on, it could happen.
a bagpipe attachment. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Crimson.
But not from Kier Canos.
Not from
Uh,
Kier Canos.
Now, we may pronounce his name that way. However, he also has an alter ego, the bounty hunter, Phoenix Kill, which, like, if you're looking for a bounty hunter name, Kill is a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good
Just
one.
really makes it clear.
Like
this
your
is what I
tail.
do.
Kleenex kill.
That name might as well be.
I mean,
Death
if you're
Star.
going through the bounty hunter book and you're trying to pick a guy, I mean, he seems like he'd get the job done.
Kleenex kill.
I
Yep,
once
there you
picked
go.
a dentist based on his last name was Dr. Wisdom. And
Nice.
so
Oh, I
that's
like
why I
that.
picked him. It's like,
Get
Mine
this,
was
Emily.
Dr.
We're-
Weed.
Really?
oh,
All
there you
right.
go.
My
All right.
dentist's name, Dr. Beavers. I kid you not. Dr. Beavers.
Cool.
And if you're listening to this, hello. I am taking great care of my teeth. Don't you worry. Now, the fact of the matter is, Kier Canos is the titular character of this series. He is the protagonist, but he's not necessarily pure-blooded heroic, is he? He is, in fact, loyal to none other than Emperor Palpatine himself. And
Mhm.
based on the way that he reveres Palpatine, you'd think Palpatine was dope. He's not. What do you guys think? Why in the world is Canos loyal to the Emperor?
I think it comes down to what his role is, right? He is a soldier.
Mhm.
That's his role, and his mission is priority, mission first. And his mission is to protect the Emperor. And if in the event the Emperor does die, it's most likely in his best interest to exact that or avenge the Emperor in any way possible as the soldier, right? He's programmed for one thing, and that is for protection. And and I'm not sure if it's the Emperor or if it's the chair itself, right? It could flip.
Mhm.
If someone was in that chair who was properly voted into that, or I don't know. He's a dictator, but
Yeah.
however that happens, he
Right.
might have not been so lethal, but because it was taken in malice, as a soldier, that's his priority directive to
Mhm.
to secure that chair.
Mm.
That's fair.
My thought on it is that he doesn't actually know anything about Palpatine,
Mhm.
nor does he care. He wants to protect the Emperor because he's sworn to do so, and it's an honor thing for him. Honor seems to
Yeah.
be
That's a good point.
For sure.
massive,
Yeah.
and I can imagine that you can't hear all that great inside those helmets. So they keep the royal guards way down the other end of the chamber.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't hear the kind of conversations that Palpatine's having. It's probably mostly mundane, like that late into the Empire. There's not all that much. He would regard like the rebellion as terrorists and like they need to be
I'm
put down.
hungry.
Mhm.
So I kind of can understand, but it does seem a little bit nonsensical to me that
Yeah.
he is still fighting for an emperor who
Yeah.
was so unbelievably wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
And seemingly had no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I throw in a thought here?
Yeah.
I think totally he was programmed. Like
Mhm.
we don't know much about his story before he joined not the academy, but his training regiment. And so if it wasn't at that, what's the planet called? Where they have the
Yinchor.
squall.
Yinchor.
So there's got to be some brainwashing going on because he is so devout and it doesn't make sense. And that's almost like a plot failure of why would anybody be this devout to the Empire? So I'm saying it's got to be programming, brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to okay, I promise this is not like a setup for a joke. This is a real honest moment. When I was watching the original trilogy as a kid, George Lucas and the story in Star Wars, they've always done a great job of really drawing from real life history and depicting the Empire. And, a lot of like Nazi symbols and propaganda and a lot of symbolism there. But when I saw the Imperial Guard, I thought of the KKK, not even joking. And so I've had in my head, like, just how vile of a person he must be to be a defender of the Emperor just because of that image. And so it took me a long time to kind of like, why do we want to read this book? Why is it good? But like, it is a good story and it's very much disconnected from that. But if I'm being honest, as a kid, like I think like Oh Brother Where Art Thou or something came out, something like that. And so like I noticed that in one of the movies and I was like, what am I watching? What is this? And so that's always been in my head what the Imperial Guard were like. Anyway, so that's kind of been my head. So trying to unwork from that and see Kir Kanos as a redeemable character was quite the journey for me.
Mm.
I
Excellently
like how you
said.
work, Oh Brother, where art thou in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
was
nice.
unexpected. Yeah.
Full circle.
I'm
Sorry
a man
for
of
that.
constant sorrow.
Yeah.
Mm.
We can
And
put that
that's-
into our Utini Legends Lookback musical. We'll write that one down.
Yeah, there you go.
That's one of the things that works about this, though, is that you get behind the scenes of an Imperial character, somebody who is not
Yeah.
your regular old rebel.
Mm-hmm.
He's not an X-wing pilot. At this point, the Dark Empire or the Dark Horse comics that were out there were X-wing comics. Dark Empire, which is about Luke Skywalker, a very interesting Luke Skywalker to say the least. But you've got like the Republic series. It doesn't start coming out until 99, 98, 99. So this is Tales of the Jedi is out. Besides that, there's not a ton that's really focusing on this corner of the galaxy, and it tells a really unique story. So I do wonder, though, once he starts to learn more about, the fact that he's got so many allies in the New Republic, once he starts to develop his relationship with Mirith Sin, once he starts to learn the wickedness of Darth Vader, for example, the fact that he, killed Mirith Sin's husband, family. What was the thing there? Was it her whole family or just her husband?
I think just her husband.
Just her
I
husband,
think it was her husband.
Yeah. He starts to realize that, he's got some loyalties that are not what he initially expected. But why won't he defect to the New Republic, do you guys think? Why is it that he keeps them at arm's length the way that he does?
It's a different organization. It is opposite of what he started, right? And I can't imagine it's easy to just switch from one to the other that easily. And like we've talked about, right? And like everybody said here, he was programmed for something. And it's not easy to just go from that propaganda to another, right? It's totally different, and I can only imagine, just say, let's just put into perspective sports. Let's just say you're a fan of one team, and you've been following that team forever, and that team disbands. Like, how easy is it going to be for you to become a fan of another team, right? It takes some time. You're not going to just dive into it. Some people do, right? But he's going to be cautious. He's not sure on them. He's not sure if this is the best choice.
When
That's
he
just
was
my
raised
take.
to believe they were terrorists.
Mhm.
That's another thing,
Oh.
right? Yeah, it's a lot of brainwashing there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which, I mean,
sure.
technically they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they in the moral high ground? Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
they still were technically terrorists. So it's kind of hard to jump from one regime to the other. And I think he probably wants some freedom. He's been living his whole life with one goal in mind. And then, like, he meets the objective with, like, basically exacting revenge on Palpatine's betrayers. And now I think he's trying to figure out, okay, what should I think? What do I think? What should I do now? Because my whole point of living and protecting is gone.
Yeah, that's a great point, Emily. Freedom, like that, I've never really considered that. He might just not want to be a part of anybody.
Yeah, it seems to me that he's not even entertaining what is he going to do next.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they, kind of sell this 3-story arc as, first and foremost, getting revenge on Carnor Jax. Then Volume 2 is on the Imperial Ruling Council.
Mm.
Then, thirdly, which, like, you don't see coming unless you're paying attention, Luke Skywalker. That's where the
Yeah.
third, major beat in the story is going. But it seems to me that he's not even thinking about what's next until he gets those things off his agenda, which, the story was delayed 10, 15 years, but it was 98 until 2011. People were, clamoring for this. It would be in the works and it would get shelved. It would be in the works and it would get shelved. So the fact that it could finally come to fruition, if the creators couldn't even get this done, Kierkenos is certainly not even thinking about what his next steps are going to be. One of the major things that keeps him, at arm's length from the New Republic is the fact that he kills Mirith Sin, who is a captain, commander in the New Republic, kills her right-hand man, Sadit, the Trandoshan. What is he, a bodyguard? Or like sidekick?
Probably like a second command or
First
something.
mate. Yes,
Something
Mirith
like that.
Sin's Chewbacca. And he interferes with Kierkenos trying to, can we say assassinate? Eliminate? He's going to take the life of Carnor
There you
Jax
go.
at the end of their duel. He's
violent
not looking to
things.
arrest him. He's not your Legends Batman, though he may seem that way. He's more of the Legends Punisher. He is going to take out the bad guy. And Sadit wants for them to arrest Carnor Jax, get more information from him. And
Which is a
because
smart thing to do, right?
Sure. Because he interferes, though, he gets that double-bladed Vibra scythe to the abdomen. Let me ask you guys, did Canos have to kill Sadit?
That's a
I don't
tough
think so.
one. I don't think
Emily,
so.
why is that?
It just seemed like I don't know. I don't think it was absolutely necessary, but I understand why he did it. Because at that point he's just goal focused, right? Of like the goal is to kill Carnor Jackson. If this guy's going to get in the way, then he's going to. Like, I don't have time to negotiate or like, and like as the Empire's Guard, you don't have to negotiate with anyone. You just your whole goal is just to kill and protect, and he does that. So yeah, he's not a diplomat.
I think Kanos also understands how dangerous Jax is, right? So if you give him an out, if you give him a moment to regain strength, and he was not going to give him any of that moment, and it meant killing Sadit, which I agree with you, Emily. I don't think he needed to do that, but he is goal oriented. In his resume,
It's the
he can
easiest
put
way.
that in his resume.
Yeah, it seems to me that Jax has really demonstrated his lethality. So, he's too dangerous to be kept alive. Am I right? There's no other option here. But, yeah, poor Sadit. F's in the chat for Sadit. I didn't see it coming. And I've read this thing twice now, and I still didn't see it coming.
Yeah, same.
And I've listened to the audio drama a bunch of times, too, and I still forgot it was about to happen. And, it's brutal to think, it ends. Volume 1 ends with spoileries. By the way, we didn't give any kind of spoiler warning.
Oops.
Going full of spoilers on all of Crimson Empire tonight.
I feel like that's expected, but there you go.
The volume 1 ends with Mirith Sin. Who you kind of feel like there's a romance happening here. Volume 1 ends with Mirith Sin saying, "What is it? I vow that I'm gonna kill this sucker." What's the direct quote?
That was a direct quote.
I'm gonna kill this sucker.
Nailed
There
it.
is nowhere in this galaxy he can hide from me. As of this moment, Kir Kanos is a condemned man, and I swear by the holy stars that I will be his executioner.
So cool.
Oh, it's
Smoking
so
the
epic.
holy stars, man.
And that's how
Bold
that
words.
the first one ends, and you're just like, goodness gracious, this is intense.
Yeah.
And the next one ends, and you're like, what?
The next one ends, and they love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
They smooch.
She
All right.
executed his hate.
So the fact of the matter is, he is kind of a ladies' man. He works his way, but he's not happy about it, right? Which leads him to be very much like the Batman. You guys seen Batman? Seen the new one?
Not yet.
No, I haven't yet.
All right, I'm gonna spoil it. Ready?
No!
No, I won't. Okay.
Look at him. He was ready to
Cut
go.
Oh.
Headphones off in a
It
heartbeat.
is a
All right.
battle, man. I work with teenagers and they want to ruin things for me. So all day I'm like,
Oh, sure.
don't you do this to me?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Okay. Ready? Bruce Wayne
No,
is Batman.
I'm done.
brand
That's right.
new
Forn's
information.
in the chat for there he is. He's back. Never mind.
I actually almost said Bruce Banner is Batman, but that is a
That'd be
different
interesting.
universe.
That would have been a bigger
Plot twist.
spoiler.
Get it?
Yeah.
Get it? Bigger,
That would have been
bigger
concerning.
spoiler. 'Cause
Let me
it's
ask you guys
the
this though.
Hulk.
Speaking of universes,
Man.
is in your
Oh my
opinion Kir
gosh.
Kanos more Batman, Punisher, or Clint Eastwood?
Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher.
Punisher. Okay,
I'll go with
but
Punisher
no
on
guns.
this one. No guns. Although I feel like he might have used one, maybe not.
I'm gonna go
I
samurai.
feel like
in
as
one
Kennick's
scene.
skill he did.
I'm gonna go
Samurai.
honor
Okay, Rick, what do you-
honor bound samurai.
Oh yeah, that's a really good
Nice.
comparison.
Ninja
That's a good
Turtle.
one, man.
Ninja Turtle, yeah.
Ninja Turtle.
Except
yeah.
for a dark Ninja Turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Way
He's
dark.
Dark
mission
red
he's mission
Ninja
focused,
Turtle.
right? And Batman's not quite. I mean, it's tough to say. I guess it depends which kind of Batman you're running into. And then Clint Eastwood, I can't really see that, but definitely Punisher. Punisher, he's going after one thing and whatever it takes, right? If he has to blow up at a whole neighborhood to get to that person, he'll probably
yeah,
do it.
I mean,
And I
they,
feel like
they
that's
call
what.
him the biggest outlaw in the galaxy at one point
Yeah.
here. Which obviously it's not illegal to just go around being judge, jury, and executioner for whoever you deem worthy of your blade. Which leads us to this big kind of surprise moment at the end of the second volume, where Kanos, my cat is peeling off my layers of light filtering over there. So I'm gonna get a little bit brighter as the episode goes on.
Oh man.
A little bit more crimson in the face. It's this worm in here. Now, he doesn't kill all the council members in the end of Council of Blood. He kills what's the chunky emperor? What's his name?
Corvus, Cordal.
Yeah,
Cordal.
Corvus.
Yeah.
Corvus, something.
Kills him. Poor
Mhm.
guy.
He
Yeah,
needed. He was ready
He,
to go.
he had it coming.
It was this time.
Yeah, he did.
They did not write that character to survive.
Nope.
No. From the moment his introduction, in fact, is eating like a cookie. They cut
Every
over to
time
him.
there's a
They
fat dude
say
eating
like,
something,
"I
he
elect,
dies.
I elect Corvus to be the next emperor," and it cuts over to him, and he's like,
So
Me?
what I'm hearing is I would not survive in the Star Wars universe.
Oh no. If that's how you introduce the character, is that they're just lounging around having food brought to them, you're like, okay, well,
Rick,
I
you'd
wonder
be in
when
a-
you're gonna die.
You'd be in a fighter pilot. You'd be fine.
If I could
Rogue
fit,
Squadron.
if I could fit in the cockpit, man, that's the.
Oh my
"Those,
God.
those
E-wing.
R2 droids will vacuum up all your cookie crumbs out of your
That's right.
cockpit seat." So why doesn't Kanos kill all the council members though? They were all in on the betrayal to assassinate, to sabotage Palpatine's last clone body. They were all usurpers to the throne in equal measure. But then he doesn't eliminate all of them. They were, other than Corvus, they were all in their cells. He had locked them away or had killed them.
Or
There were a few left, though. Why didn't he kill the council members? seemed like they were all teed up, ready to go.
So
Sorry.
I guess on one hand it could be just weak plot and bad writing. I don't think that's the case. I think that it's probably more just character growth. Like we kind of said, he moves away
Yeah.
from that single-minded track of avenge the emperor to, okay, there were some bad people, and that'd be fun. I'm reading Skuma's comments about
That was pretty distracting.
Rick eating one of the Nala tree frogs. Imagine like Baby Yoda, the legs sticking out of your mouth.
I was trying to remember
gross.
some Hutties too, but I'd probably say cuss words, so I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, maybe he just grows as a character, but also the plot is complicated because there is the crime syndicate and the stupid Hut that's wrapped into the story too that are also pulling some strings behind the scenes. And so
You mean Awesome Hut? Grappa is legit.
he is disgusting. They're all disgusting, man.
Grappa the Hut is
Grossa
my boy.
the Hut.
He is so cool. He's a hut with drip.
He's
You know what I'm saying?
Isn't Grappa like a hard alcohol?
Yeah, I
It
think
is.
so.
It's Italian.
Alcohol the Hut.
Like an Italian vodka,
You know,
basically.
I'm not. I don't really know the answer to this one. This is actually a very good question. Part of me wonders if he just did enough damage and he's like, I think you guys get the message, or like he took care of the ones he needed to take care of and he knew the rest were kind of worthless. I'm not sure what it could be, but it is definitely some character growth, or maybe he accomplished enough of his mission that he was done with it.
One of the things that really works for me is the fact that this series keeps me guessing. There's a lot of places along the way where I just am not sure what's going to come next. And that's very rare for me with Star Wars stories. And the fact that he has them all ready to go, they're in their cells, he's accomplished his mission, nobody can stand his way, and then he relents. Is like, oh, well, there's something happening here. There's more to the story. I can't wait for the next volume, which I think is why it left people anxious for decades to get to Crimson Empire 3, the third volume. And it really pays off in some big ways. We've talked about Kira Kanos. We don't have a ton of time left tonight. Let's at least give a little bit of love to Mirith Sin. Do you think she loves or hates Kanos? It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Emily is our
Why
resident
not
woman.
both?
Why not?
Why
both?
not both?
Yeah.
It is very classically 90s, I think, that she is redheaded
Yes.
and that full of rage. And it ends up falling for the bad guy in the end. Their romance cracks me up.
Don't forget the crop top.
The crop top and the visor that like shows all the
There's one point where Princess Leia's like,
security in
"Oh,
the
why are
palace."
you wearing this red visor?" And she's like, "It's full of information."
Because it's the future. There's technology, even though it's in the past. It's okay.
That's right. They're stuck in
no.
the same time loop that we
So
are.
funny.
Right.
There are elements of her character that I really love. And I do like that she comes around and they kind of meet in the middle a little bit. Like she
Yeah,
kind
they
of
both
gives
have
up
to give
her
some.
revenge. He kind of gives up some of his. And then in the end, they start to realize, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. But yeah, it was.
You can tell that it's written
was
by a couple of
funny.
men. We'll say that much.
Yeah.
But
And it
then,
was very comic booky.
but then she
sure.
is, in its defense, in that part of the story has not necessarily aged the best, to put it nicely. But in its defense, she's another one of these women in a long line of women in the Rebel Alliance who are the women that save the galaxy, right?
That's
The
true.
women that are behind the scenes, leaders of men, commanding their underlings, fighting a war to bring freedom for the very people who, like them, were under the Empire's thumb. And her family, her husband was savagely murdered just because Darth Vader wanted to prove the point that he didn't care if his planet rebelled, because they were all just people that needed to get in line to him. And so she is representative of this really strong dynamic within Star Wars of these women being the real backbone of the Rebel Alliance. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Given the time frame too, right? The 90s, the fact that she is the commander I guess she would be the commander of this outpost, right? And the fact that she is the leader.
Yeah.
it goes to show that, you know, Star Wars always had some sort of, I guess, feminist view, although it might have been skewed with the time,
Mhm.
right? But they tried to make her a powerful person, a person to be reckoned with, a person who could take her you know, own matters into her own hands without having to rely on other people. And you know, they did it the best way they could, and I think I appreciate that. I appreciate them doing that as far back as the original Star Wars, with Princess Leia
Mhm.
being as powerful as she is, right? And we see that even now, right? Times have changed. We're in a different era, and Star Wars has adapted uh, women and a bunch of other people into better roles that fit the time we're in, that are a bit cutting edge, in my opinion. So, you know, applauding on that point.
Better clothes too.
I would say that the series downfalls have more to do with it being a 90s comic than with it being Star Wars.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
And the
That's a
fact
good
that
point.
this has endured in the eyes of so many fans for as long as it has, and we all four scored it highly, with, you know, with the reservations, I think goes to show that it really does have good bones.
It does.
And I don't want every Star Wars story to be this hyper masculine, you know, assault on everything that's wrong with the galaxy. It bathed in blood and fire. But
But if
it's
that's what you
cool.
were looking for,
But
you
yeah,
have
totally.
found it.
I think this is what, for some people, they think all of Legends is, but it's not. This is, you know, a
That's kind of
one
what I thought when I started.
extreme
And I've
story.
been pleasantly surprised at the powerful women in Legends.
And even in this, there's more to it than just blood and fire. Emily, you said
Yeah.
you had a few things for us tonight that made you laugh along the way. I would
Yeah.
love to know, what were some of these moments for you that were highlights of Crimson Empire from the perspective of Emily, a woman who has never read Crimson Empire before? I'm so excited.
There were a few panels that I thought were pretty funny. The romance panel was, I think, when Kira Kanos and Mirith Sin kiss for the first time. I just thought it was funny. So it kind of just came out of nowhere. They didn't really lay a whole ton of like foundation for romance. It was just sort of like, I don't know, there's a redheaded woman. Let's just she'll just kiss somebody. And like that'll be like a whole extra thing. I thought that was hysterical. The other thing that I thought that this whole series did hilariously were the sound effects for the fighting. Like, oh my goodness. They're just like, I can't quite read that. Can y'all read that for me?
The word
Choom, choom.
spans.
Yeah.
Yes. Like the variety of sound effects written into the text,
Yeah.
like of the panels, like was hysterical.
Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia.
They worked really hard on that. They came up
like-
with a lot of different options.
There was one page that said Spanx. Just kidding.
Yes. Just it was in every single issue. There were at least
Shroom?
two
Is that
panels.
Shroom?
Shroom, probably.
Beyop,
My favorite was
I
the
think.
blaster. Pew pew.
Oh, Bo, yeah.
That one happened a lot.
I don't even see those words when I'm reading comics.
That's funny. Neither do I, Jared.
I
I noticed
You
it
read-
too.
did not.
Hold
see
on.
them.
Emily, do you read these out loud in your mind every time you get to one?
See it, and I'm like, okay, battle sounds. Skip. Like going to the next page. How do y'all read them?
I don't.
Yeah, I kind of see it
You
as a
just hear
sound
it.
effect.
Oh no.
Yeah.
in your head.
It's audible. It's not in my head. It is for everyone to experience when I'm reading one of these.
Yeah.
I
We
can
should
see that.
We should have a comic story time with Rick, and I'll do all the sounds for you guys.
That might
would
have
be
to happen
great.
one of these weeks. That might just have
I
to
would
happen.
love that.
We're gonna give you the one where Kiadi-Mundi is a polygamist. That's gonna be a great story.
Oh
Ooh,
man,
that sounds fun.
moist. Okay.
It is not. It is pure drudgery.
It is.
Moist drudgery. All right. Lightning round as we close it out. Favorite original character. What's one character in this that you really latched onto? I'm gonna go ahead and take him off the board. Number one pick, Zanzixel. Right, the leader of the Xanabar.
Nobody wanted him, Jared. That's all
We
you.
haven't even touched on that this episode yet.
The Xanabar. Oh, Emily, did you the Xanabar? Are they one of your picks for the goofy things?
No, but they were a little horrifying.
Okay. All right. Who's your
Um,
favorite original character? You
Uh,
can't say the
let's see.
Nanotry Frog from that spread.
Dang it! I
Yeah.
was gonna say that.
Oh, okay. Were you? We'll talk about it in next week's episode. Everybody get a tease for the beautiful spread of artwork from, is it issue 3?
I believe it's issue 3. It's one of the beginning issues during the attack on the rebel base, I believe. Right? It's like one of the opening.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. You're gonna see just an interesting character sitting there just looking right at you.
Oblivious to what's happening in the background behind him. We've got a great go ahead.
I was gonna say I wouldn't say that I have a specific character that I like, but I really enjoy a lot of the martial artistry in these stories. Like there's a ton of martial artistry in these books. Everything from I mean, it's all mostly hand-to-hand combat, and it seems like blasters are just secondary, not really that important. But the fighting, right? The gladiator-esque at the very beginning. A lot of hand-to-hand combat. Beautiful, honestly. I love that martial arts kind of art in these books, and the motion that they capture within the vibroblades, vibrating, and you can see that in the page. Beautiful stuff.
Absolutely. And Rick, did you have a favorite character?
Off the path, I wish we had more of. So tell me if there is more of. But I don't know how you say. Is it Tav or Tave Kinnaid or Kennedy? He was the trainer's son. Who?
I say Kaninda.
Kaninda? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he what's his name? Kier Canos puts him in like one of his what I can't remember what ship it was now. He sets him up with the
Sora sub.
Yeah, the Sora sub. Yeah, and anyway, so I don't know. I just was fascinated by him and just this guy that showed some of Kier's character, I guess, that he was still looking out for his teacher's son, and had contacts from a very isolated world. He actually had friends, and so I don't know. I like that character.
Excellent.
Cool.
All right, a couple more before we close it out. Which of the stories did you enjoy the most? We've got Crimson Empire 1, 2, 3, and then a few little kind of side issues about Kleenex Kill.
That Kleenex guy was pretty cool.
Did you say the Kleenex guy?
The Kleenex.
I'm gonna wear
Kleenex,
his.
Dude.
Didn't he look a little bit? Speaking of Judge, Jury, and Executioner, didn't he look a little bit like Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
Right.
I
totally
see
has a judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to do that, but with some Kleenex boxes. It's my next cosplay. While Jared does Salacious B. Crumb.
I like the one where the kids are almost kidnapped again.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the second one. Is that the series?
See, now you're getting.
Now you're seeing
you're
it.
getting the
trope,
the beats for. I think it's the beginning of number 3 of
number
Crimson
3?
Empire 3. Yeah.
Okay.
You're starting to get the beats of Legends. This post Return of the Jedi Legends, the kids get kidnapped
and
or
kids
almost
are
kidnapped. A lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the redhead saves them.
Oh,
That's good.
Man.
Honestly, I love the first story though. The first story is just absolutely amazing and a great intro to the series.
It would have been great
It's all good.
standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they hadn't developed it at all, it would have been great.
I'm having a
Yeah.
hard
But it was
time.
also great that they developed it.
Yeah, they're all good. Like you said, I can't pick a favorite. I like conclusions, so maybe the third just for some closure.
Yeah.
But the second one is the wildest, I think.
Yeah.
With Grappa's fate and Salty Luke. Oh my goodness. Because he was so sassy and a jerk, and I get it, but like, dude, come on, tone that down.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyway.
Well, the Dark Empire stories, and this is in that vein, they do kind of show a skewed Luke.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's definitely more of an homage to that than the mainstream
Sure.
story of Luke in
Right.
Legends. Definitely. What else? How about when Vader showed up in the flashback? There's a couple of really good
and was
reveals
good.
here. Vader
Yeah.
showing up on Yinchor, another good one. Here in the chat from Skooma Joe, he says when Nom Nor was introduced in Crimson Empire 2, Nom Nor is a huge key player in the new Jedi Order series, and he is the Yu Zhanvang
Whoa,
ambassador.
whoa, okay, no
No,
spoilers.
it's not a spoiler. They don't
I'm
reveal
down,
it
Rick.
here where he
Okay.
comes from.
All right,
But,
because I had a
this-
lot of questions about him, so that's good. Because I was like, we didn't do anything with
wondered.
that. Yeah.
So let me give you the whole story of him
Ah,
real quick. Just
okay.
kidding.
This is late '90s. This is planting the seeds for what's going to come.
Okay.
It's they're just starting to sow the seeds for the fact that the Yu Zhanvang want discord in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Their agenda is to have the Empire and the New Republic weakened, and so they're going around sowing these seeds of dissent and trying to destabilize. So Nominor is this chaos agent. Nominor, chaos ambassador. Star Wars story.
Crimson
not the
Chaos.
worst.
It's a good one.
Crimson
That's
the
Chaos.
worst idea I've
stories.
ever had.
There you
Not
go.
at
Yeah,
all.
that's a great one, man.
All right. Anything else, guys, before we close it out? I've had a ton of fun talking about this. We're going to next week close it out with the art of Crimson Empire. If you're thinking, hey, how come you guys have talked about one of the most visually iconic comics of all time and haven't shown off very much art? Well, don't you worry. That's coming up next week. And boy, are they in for a treat. The entire thing is just Xanabar teeth. Just the entire episode.
We do have a giveaway, don't we?
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, the giveaway. So we said if you typed the words "legends, legends, legends" in the chat, you'll be entered to win this 50th anniversary Lucasfilm Carnor Jax misprint Kiricanos action figure, and I just so happen to have two. So one of them is going to one of our lucky listeners. And did you guys see live in the chat how many people misspelled legends, legends, legends?
I know. I should have misspelled their names. That would have been funny.
Yeah, everyone is super excited to win this misprint.
Yeah, it looks like we had at least 5 entries that I counted. So here we go. We got your 5 names on the board. Thank you guys for chiming in. Jared, are you ready for this?
Absolutely. Do I need to do like a spinning noise for you?
There might be spinning noises that coming through, but if you tell me to spin it, then I'll spin it for you.
Ready, set, spin that wheel. Scuba Joe is the winner.
Skooma.
Nice.
He is the winner. So happy for Scuba Joe. Everybody give Scuba Joe a round of applause for winning his very own
Nice. We're happy for
Crimson
you.
Empire action figure. I love it. So happy for you. Thank you to everybody for entering the contest. And don't you worry, there will be more giveaways to come in the future if you liked this one. That does it for this week. Thanks for joining us for Legends Lookback. Thank you to our incredible patrons for your support. We love making the show, and we're glad you're along for the ride. Special thank you to our Jedi High Council. That is OK Indar, Brian Dooley, Earl Q, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander, as well as to our Alliance High Command, Matt Billington, Elizabeth Cloutier, Freddie C., and Sally and Chris Eilerson. Remember to sub to the channel and leave us a review in your podcast platform of choice. That helps us out and goes a long way in helping the show grow. If you'd like your thoughts read on the show, you can email us at legendslookback@utini.com. You can send us a message in the Legends Look Back Discord channel. You can leave a comment on this episode on YouTube, or you can find us on Twitter at Legends Look Back, or I'm at Jared Q. Mays. Freddie,
At Wake Up Freddy.
Rick,
At Rick_Grace.
and Emily.
At Darth Daybeck.
If you're looking to buy some of these books, such as the Crimson Empire Saga, and want to help support the show, you can look up a book on Utini. Click the Amazon link in the profile, and then after you've got the book, read the book, you can then leave us a review and let us know what you think. Remember, keep the Utini fan code and be a force for positivity in the fandom. May the force be with you.